day, everyone. Thank you for joining us today as we explore an essential part of MARPOL Convention, which are Annex 1. So, Annex 1 is established in 1973 and later modified. MARPOL set out vital regulation to minimize pollution from ship. Annex 1, so especially addresses by oil pollution prevention and aiming to safeguard our ocean from the devastating impacts of oil discharge and spills. So, the purpose of Annex 1 is to prevent both operational and accidental oil pollution. So, from the ship. So, with clear rules for oil discharge, waste handling, and safety protocols on board vessels. Through these guidelines, so Annex 1 seeks to reduce the risk of oil pollution and protect marine ecosystem and promote the sustainable maritime operation. Our presentation will cover several aspects of Annex 1 with my members delving into a specific topic like definitions of key terms by understanding the terminology used in Annex 1. And next one is the special areas by highlighting areas designated for stricter control due to their sensitivity of pollution. The next one is the method for preventing oil pollution by examining the equipment, system, and procedure in place to prevent oil pollution. And the next one is the discharge provisions for oil and oily waste by outlining the conditions and limits for discharging oil and oil residue. And the next one is the SOP EP and the OPA 90. So, explaining the shipboard oil pollution emergency plan. So, SOP EP. And the Oil Pollution Act of 1990. And the last one is the impact of oil on the marine environment. So, by discussing the harmful effect of oil pollution on marine life and ecosystem. So, each of these areas is integral to understanding the Annex 1's rule in oil pollution prevention. The purpose of Annex 1. So, Annex 1 of MARPOL, or the International Convention for the Preventions of Pollution from Ships. So, primarily aims to prevent marine pollution by oil from ship. It establishes regulation for the discharge of oil and oil mixture or oil residue. So, by promoting the use of pollution prevention equipment. Annex 1 of MARPOL, which stands for the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships, is a set of rules specifically designed to prevent the oil pollution in marine environment. So, oil pollution can come from different sources of ships, including accidental spills or regular operation, such as machinery use and the tank cleaning. The aim of Annex 1 is to establish strict standards to control and minimize the risk of this pollutant by entering the oceans. So, to achieve this Annex 1, defines that regulation for the discharge of oil and oil mixtures. So, the substance that might otherwise be released into the sea during the ship operations. So, it sets, we have a clear limits on when, where, and how oil discharge is permitted, and if at all, and outline requirements for the special equipment. It is designed to contain or filter oil before discharge to the ocean. These include things like oil water separator, oil filtering equipment, and sludge management system. It will help ship comply with this discharge standard. So with that, I will now hand it over to my member, to my next presenter, the definitions of term.
Oil refers to any form of petroleum, including crude oil, fuel, sludge, oil refuse, and refined products. These terms include various types of oil, such no crude oil, fuel oil, and lubricants. Such no crude oil, fuel oil, and lubricants. This is a term that refers to a variety of viscous liquids, primarily composed of hydrocarbon that are derived from both natural and synthetic sources of oil. Is a versatile and essential resource that plays a critical role in modern society, from fueling and transportation, providing materials, countless products, its environmental impact. This is a term that refers to a variety of viscous liquids, primarily composed of hydrocarbon that are derived from both natural and synthetic sources of oil. Is a versatile and essential resource that plays a critical role in modern society, from fueling and transportation, providing materials, countless products, its environmental impact. This is important questions about sustainability. Oil record book, a record kept on board that tracks all oil and oily waste operations, including transfers, discharges, and treatments. Oil record book is a fundamental fuel in the framework, Annex 1 playing a critical role in the prevention of oil pollution from ships by documenting all relevant operations. It ensures compliance with international regulations, promote environmental protections, and enhances accountability within special areas. Areas where strict controls on oil discharges applied to their ecological sensitivity and vulnerability to pollution. Special areas designated by the International Maritime Organization or IMO based on this vulnerability to pollutions and to use for heightened protection in these areas. That the discharge of oily mixtures is prohibited and ships must take additional measures to ensure that oil is released into water. Examples of special areas is Baltic Sea, designated by the International Maritime Organization or IMO based on this vulnerability to pollutions and to use for heightened protection in these areas. That the discharge of oily mixtures is prohibited and ships must take additional measures to ensure that oil is released into water. Examples of special areas is Baltic Sea, with the versatile and essential resources that plays a critical role in modern society, from fueling and transportation, providing materials, countless products, its environmental impact. This is designated by the International Maritime Organization or IMO based on this vulnerability to pollutions and to use for heightened protection in these areas. That the discharge of oily mixtures is prohibited and ships must take additional measures to ensure that oil is released into water. Examples of special areas is Baltic Sea, with the Mediterranean Sea, Black Sea.
I'm Kahano Charsian B, and the special area. Special area, ano nga ba ito? Due to officially recognized oceanographical and ecological condition and to the particular character of sea traffic special method to prevent oil pollution. Sa madaling salita daw, ang special area daw ay mga lugar sa dagat kung saan ang mga area na ito ay may mga kinikilalang kondisyon. Example of that, para maiiwasan ang pagsira ng coral reef, hanap buhay at iba pa. Para maiwasan nitong oil pollution, ay need ng proper waste of oil. Also, the proper waste of garbage. Also, mahigpit dito ang ibang rehiyon or bansa sa regulasyon para maprotektahan ng mga sensitibong ecology mula sa oil pollution. Example of area, Mediterranean Sea. Adopted on November 2, 1973 at nag-enter ito sa force noong October 2, 1983 and effect from October 2, 1983. Located on intercontinental sea that stretches from the Atlantic Ocean into the west to Asia on the east and separate Europe from Africa. Mahalaga ito bilang isang biodiversity hotspot na tahanan ng maraming marine life species, pati na rin ang kanyang kasaysayan sa kultura at kalakalan. Baltic Sea. Adopted on November 2, 1973, date of entry force on October 2, 1983. It effect from October 2, 1983. Located from an arm of Atlantic Ocean. Baltic Sea is the youngest sea on the planet and experiences near Arctic condition and is the one of the world's largest brackish water. Isang importanteng ecosystem na may maselang balanse ng tubig tabang at tubig alat na nagbibigay tahanan sa mga marine life species. Black Sea. Adopted on November 2, 1973, date into the force in October 2, 1983. Kilala ito sa natatanging ekolohiya nito na naglalaro sa mahalagang papel sa mga migratory fish species at balanse ng mga nutrisyon sa rehiyon. Located on Eastern Europe and West Asia. Red Sea. Adopted. Same as sa mga nauna is November 2, 1973 at ganun din sa mga entry ng force noong October 2, 1983. Mayaman sa coral reefs at biodiversity nito ay isa ring mahalaga para sa mga ekonomiyang nakasalalay sa pangingisda at turismo. Located on North Africa, East Africa, and West Asia. Gulfs area. Ang mga gulf or gulpo ay isang mahalagang lugar kung saan nagbibigay tirahan para sa mga hayop at mga pinagmulan ng yaman tulad ng langis at gas. Located on border the southeast coast of North America.
Now, we're gonna talk about several methods upang ma-prevent o maiwasan ng oil pollution. Ang oil spill ay nakakapanira sa ating environment, lalo na sa marine life. That's why it's important na may mga paraan para maiwasan ito. There are 3 main methods that I'll be discussing: oil-water separators, double hulls, at operational measures. Oil-water separators. The first method is oil-water separators. This is a special device na ginagamit para i-separate ang oil sa wastewater bago ito itapon sa environment. There's a tank that filters the oil so that it won't end up in our oceans, rivers, or lakes. Sa pamamagitan ng mga separators na ito, natatanggal na ang karamihan ng oil sa wastewater, kaya mas konti ang polusyon na mapupunta sa mga bodies of water. Nakakatulong ito para protektahan ng dagat at ang marine life. Double hulls. The second method ay ang double hulls. This is a safety design na ginagamit sa mga oil tankers. Kapag may double hull ang tanker, ibig sabihin may 2 layers ng steel sa katawan ng tanker instead of just 1. Para itong extra layer ng protection sa oil. So, kung maaksidente man ang tanker, usually yung outer hull lang ang nasisira at safe pa rin ang oil sa inner hull. Dahil dito, nababawasan ang chance ng oil spills na posibleng makasira sa environment. Finally, meron tayong operational measures o mga best practices sa pag-handle ng oil. Kasama dito ang safety procedures, regular inspections at trainings para sa mga workers na involved sa pag-transfer o pag-store ng oil. Sa pag-follow ng mga practices na ito, nagpe-prevent ang accidental spills at leaks. Ang goal nito ay to make sure na ang mga tao ay well-trained, ang equipment ay na-check, at maingat ang operations para maiwasan ang pagkalat ng oil sa environment. Each of the methods, oil-water separators, double hulls, at operational measures, has a significant role sa pag-iwas sa oil pollution. Sa paggamit ng mga method na ito simultaneously, nababawasan ang possibility ng oil spills at nakakatulong pa tayo sa pagprotekta sa ating environment.
Good afternoon, everyone. My topic is discharge provision for oil and oily waste. The discharge of oil or oily mixture is prohibited within 12 nautical miles of the nearest land, except for the clean ballast water. The regulation prohibiting the discharge of oil or oily mixture within 12 nautical miles of the nearest land is designed to protect marine and coastal environment from pollution. This restriction helps to minimize the risk of oil spill, which can have devastating effect of ecosystem, wildlife, and local economies. The exception for clean ballast water acknowledge that vessels often need to manage their weight and stability during transit. Clean ballast water, which does not contain oil or pollutants, is considered safe for discharge. This regulations aims to balance maritime operating with environmental protection, ensuring that harmful substances are kept away from sensitive coastal areas. Permissible discharge limits. Beyond 12 nautical miles, the discharge of oil mixture is permitted if the mixture has an oil content not exceeding 15 parts per million. The ship is not operating in a special area beyond 12 nautical miles if the oil content is below 15 parts per million. And they are not in a special area where stricter pollution controls apply. This ensures minimal environmental impact while allowing for operational flexibility. Special areas. These special areas, discharge of oil or oily mixture is completely prohibited regardless of the distance from shore. In special areas such as Baltic Seas, the discharge of oil or oily mixture is completely prohibited. These strict regulations aims to protect ecologically sensitive regions where even small amounts of oil can cause significant harm to marine life and habitats. By it's to preserve and maintain the health of vulnerable ecosystem. Example, imagine you have an oil tanker named MT, Green Wave transporting crude oil across the sea. Habang naglalayag ang MT, Green Wave papuntang port sa isang bansa, siya en route. Influent oil content. Ang mga influent na nagmumula sa barko ay sinasala at hindi dapat lumagpas sa 15 parts per million ng langis. Oil filtering equipment. Ang barko ay may kasangkapang oil filtering system na may alarm at automatic stopping device kapag lumagpas sa 15 ppm ang langis. Automatic itong humihinto at binabaling ang discharge sa isang tangke sa loob ng barko. Cargo pump room bilges. Ang mga halo ng langis ay hindi nagmumula sa mga bilges ng cargo pump room ng oil tanker. Thank you.
Ano nga ba ang SOPEP o Shipboard Oil Pollution Emergency Plan? Ang SOPEP ay isang regulasyon at plano na kailangan malaman ng ating mga manglalayag upang maiwasan ang pagkalat ng langis. Number 1, preparation and training. Lahat ng crew o miyembro ay sumasailalim sa training ng SOPEP upang malaman nila ang kanilang gawain sa panahon ng oil spill. Number 2, identification of risk. Nakapaloob sa SOPEP kung saan ang mga maaaring pagmulan ng pagkalat ng langis. Number 3, emergency response procedures. Sa panahon ng pagkalat ng langis, meron tayong mga procedure na ginagamit or sinusunod. Unang-una is yung kailangan muna natin hanapin o ang tukuyin kung saan ito nagmumula, ang pagkalat ng langis at pahintuin ito. Pangalawa is yung pagde-deploy ng mga
containment equipment para hindi na ito kumalat. Kasama rin sa emergency response procedure ang roles and responsibilities kasi each crew ay meron tayo sari-sariling mga gawain upang masigurado ang organized na pagsunod o pagresponde. Communication protocols. Internal communication. Lahat ng miyembro ay kailangan makipag-communicate effectively to coordinate actions. Kasama rin dito yung pagtawag at pag-notify sa ating mga otoridad and stakeholders promptly. Documentation and reporting. Incident reporting. The plan includes guidelines for documenting spills, incident, and response action taken. Kailangan na document natin yung mga ginagawa natin sa pagresponde. Plan review and updates. Nakapaloob sa SOPEP yung ating mga pagbabago sa ating regulasyon at sa ating operasyon. Nakalagay rin dito kung ano yung mga natututunan natin sa ating mga ginagawang operasyon, lalo na sa actual na insidente. Ang SOPEP or Shipboard Oil Pollution Emergency Plan ay isang plano na kailangan nating sundin upang ma-manage natin ang pagkalat ng langis sa ating kalikasan. Isa rin itong regulasyon na kailangan nating sundin. The Oil Pollution Act of 1990 ay pinasa noong una't isa sa Congress ng Estados Unidos. And nilagdaan ito ni President George Bush. It works to avoid oil spills from vessels and facilities by enforcing removal of spilled oil and assign liability for the cost of cleanup and damages. It requires specific operating procedures, define responsible parties and financial liability. It implement process for measuring damages and specific damages for which violators are liable, and establish the fund for damages, cleanup and removal cost. Prevention and response. Establish strict regulation for oil spills prevention, response, and preparedness. It requires owners and operators of vessels and facilities to prepare oil spill response plans. Ibig sabihin nito is kinakailangan daw lahat ng mga operator and facilities na maghanda, kailangan na meron silang plano sa kung sakaling ang mga langis na to ay kumalat sa ating karagatan. Liability for oil spills. Imposes strictly liability on responsible parties for cleanup costs and damages resulting from oil spills. Limits liability in certain circumstances, but the responsible party must prove the cost to qualify for limitations. Environmental protection. Ipinasa ito upang protektahan ang mga sensitibong lugar ng ating karagatan para na rin ito sa ating kalikasan. Ang OPA 90 ay ipinasa upang ma-improve natin ang paghahanda and pag-minimize ng mga environmental and economical impacts para sa ating mga future oil spills.
The last thing that I'm gonna be discussing is the impact of oil spills sa ating environment. Kapag nagkaroon ng oil spill, di lang ito simpleng dumudumi yung tubig. May napakalaking epekto ito para sa lahat, from marine life to natural habitats hanggang sa ekonomiya. Understanding its effects is important para makita natin kung bakit ba natin kailangan ng stricter measures para maiwasan ang mga ito. Unang effect ng oil spills ay ang toxicity o nakakalaso na epekto nito sa marine life. Imagine ang mga toxins mula sa oil ay mabilis na kumakalat sa tubig, kaya mabilis din itong napapasok ng mga hayop sa dagat. Mga isda, dolphins, seabirds, pati mga plankton ay maaaring mamatay agad dahil sa toxicity. At hindi lang ito pansamantalang epekto. Ang damage sa marine life ay maaaring tumagal for several years o decades bago bumalik sa normal. For example, kapag ang mga isda ay naapektuhan, their population would also decrease na nagpapahina sa buong food chain.
Cat Island was actually one of the 4 largest rookeries in Louisiana for brown pelicans, snowy egrets, roseate spoonbills, least terns, and a variety of other shorebirds. And now it's just a fragile remnant of what it once was.
In 2010, prior to the oil spill, this was a pristine island with about 8-foot mangroves. It was roughly around 5.5, almost 6 acres. This was ideal nesting ground for migratory birds in the wintertime looking for places to nest for the spring. Well, the oil spill hit and these little islands were here to greet the oil.
The oil comes in, it kills the mangroves, which then kills the root system, and the root is holding together this island. And without that root system holding together the sediment, it just erodes away. In just 5 years, we've seen this island almost disappear, and probably by the next anniversary, this island will be gone.
The U.S. Wildlife and Fisheries studies show that chicks, when they're born, will imprint to these islands. So every year they return to the same place they were born to breed and nest again. The study also shows that when the birds come back here, if the island is gone, they don't go off and breed somewhere else. They just don't breed. So we're losing generation after generation of birds.
This is essentially one of the longest running environmental disasters in the U.S. 5 years later, oil is still coming ashore here and will continue to come ashore here as scientists have found immense tar balls and oil still remaining at the bottom of the Gulf.
See where the oil is? This is all oil up in here.
Ultimately, what this means down the road, we don't know. We know when the oil spill hit, in the first 95 days, over 800,000 birds perished. What does that mean for the long-term stability of those populations?
We even had some rare and endangered birds that were actually nesting out here, and today, nothing. They're all gone.
There is an effort to restore this island and to bring the sediment back and the mangroves back. So if we don't start doing restoration now in environments that were oiled, the harder that's going to be. It's going to take more resources, more money to build back what was there before the oil spill.
Having this loss from sea level rise, from natural erosion, and to be exacerbated by the BP oil spill, to me it really is in a way the canary in the coal mine for the habitats that are going to be threatened in the next couple decades.
Pangalawa ay ang contamination of habitats tulad ng coral reefs at marshlands. Itong mga lugar na ito ay crucial sa maraming marine species. Kapag natamaan ng coral reefs ng oil spill, nasisira ang tahanan ng napakaraming isda at iba pang marine organisms. Sa marshlands naman, which are breeding grounds for many species, ang oil ay sumisiksik sa soil at plants dahilan para magtagal ang pollution. Kaya hindi lang siya simpleng malilinis dahil deep-rooted ang epekto sa mga lugar na ito.
These spills have the potential to be very harmful to the environment, marine life, and even humans. After a spill, since oil is less dense than water, it will typically float on the surface of the water. It doesn't just stay there in some big glob though. What usually happens is that the oil will rapidly spread out over the surface of the water until it becomes a thin layer of oil known as an oil slick. Then it keeps spreading out until it forms a super thin layer called a sheen. But that thin layer of oil can be a big problem. Our fur-bearing mammal friends, like the adorable sea otter, can lose their ability to insulate themselves when covered in oil, and birds can lose the water repellency of their feathers. Without proper insulation, they can end up dying from hypothermia. Not to mention, if they try to clean themselves, they might ingest some of that oil. While fish, shellfish, and other underwater creatures can come into contact with oil if it's mixed into a water column. Adult fish can experience fin erosion when exposed to oil, as well as reduced growth rates and enlarged livers. It can also hinder their reproduction. Even if they can successfully make eggs, the oil can negatively impact egg and larval survival. What's worse is that these kinds of things can last long after the news stops covering them. You know the BP oil spill that happened about a decade ago? Some reports claim that animals are still being negatively impacted by the lasting effects of the spill, even though cleanup has largely gotten rid of the initial problem.
Isa pang napakalaking epekto ng oil spills ay ang disruption ng food chains at reproductive cycles. Dahil sa oil, maraming species ang hindi nakakahanap ng safe na pagkain o lugar para magparami. Halimbawa, ang mga isda na contaminated ng oil ay hindi naligtas kainin ng ibang animals, kaya yung mga predator na umaasa sa kanila ay naaapektuhan din. Sa reproduction naman, maraming marine animals ang hindi nakakahanap ng lugar para maglay ng eggs o magparami dahil sa oil. Imagine, isang oil spill lang pero parang domino effect ang nangyayari sa buong ecosystem. The last one is economic impacts on fisheries and tourism. Hindi lang kalikasan ang naaapektuhan, pati ang ekonomiya. Sa fisheries, kapag ang mga isda ay kontaminado, maraming mangingisda ang nawawalan ng kabuhayan dahil hindi na safe kainin o ibenta ang kanilang huli. Maraming coastal communities ang heavily dependent sa fishing. Kaya kapag apektado sila, bumabagsak din ang local economy. Sa tourism naman, kapag nadumihan ang beaches at nasira ang marine life, mas konti ang turistang dumadayo sa lugar, which means less income para sa mga local businesses at maraming trabaho ang apektado, mula sa tour guides hanggang sa mga resorts at restaurants. Lastly, oil spills is not a simple issue. Isa itong mass disaster para sa environment at sa komunidad. Ang damage na naidudulot nito ay umaabot hanggang sa ecological, social at economic levels. That's why it's important for us to be aware sa mga epekto nito para mas maintindihan natin kung bakit ba natin kailangan ng mga protective measures at strict regulations para maiwasan ng oil spills. Let's hope that our generation can unite in protecting our environment and take action to prevent such disasters. Thank you for listening. That's all.